On May the 22nd, 2010, Floridian programmer and an early Bitcoin miner named Laszlo Hanyet paid 10,000 Bitcoins worth $41 to have 2 pizzas delivered. Fast forward to 2023, the day now commemorates the first time cryptocurrency was used to buy products in the real world. Over a dozen years after that iconic transaction, which has now become an annual celebration of the Bitcoin Pizza Day, the global crypto community comes together on that same day to celebrate the first physical Bitcoin transaction and to reminisce on how far the industry has come.
A kid who makes sure people get the right knowledge about the industry.
In Lagos, members of the Crypto Bootcamp community gathered for a hangout to mark the milestone, spread word on the adoption of cryptocurrency to the mainstream, and continue the tradition by taking a bite of the Bitcoin pizza.
I see it as the biggest move of adoption, and if it is the biggest move of adoption, then we need to take it seriously. We need to use it as a occasion to spread more adoption into the mainstream, because until we spread adoption to the mainstream, people will not be able to enjoy what Bitcoin Pizza Day has done for us, right? Bitcoin has given us access to financial inclusion. It has given us the opportunity to create wealth. And we are seeing massive economic development happening, right? Lots of job creation because the industry is growing, more workforce is needed, all because Bitcoin succeeded and a whole new economy, a whole new industry, a whole new sector was created. Let's talk about innovation. Let's talk about solution. Let's talk about adoption. Let's talk about the growth of the industry, how we can make Africa bigger with the opportunity that blockchain has given to us.
The reason why we're here is for the adoption of cryptocurrency, and not just pizza, what it's actually doing for us. Like, for example, remittance itself. You have no idea the amount of financial institutions that are actually riding at the back of cryptocurrency without even telling you. We are so happy that at least someone was able to take us from just being a mining thing or just being a programming thing to at least taking it to the next stage.
2 panel sessions are lined up for Bitcoin enthusiasts, disruptors, and developers in Web3 to learn more about cryptocurrency and factors that contributed to its rise.
Crypto can be used for different things, to book rides, to even buy airtime, to book hotel stays, different things that was not necessary. You must use Naira or fiat. But when these things come and people can use in their day-to-day lives, like, it becomes a bit easier to onboard people. As that before, Bitcoin was just a faceless coin. People didn't really understand what it was. People thought it was scam. People were not really even willing to be open and say, oh, I own Bitcoin, or I even know what it is.
So one of the misconceptions that I feel about Bitcoin that needs to be clarified is that the purpose of Bitcoin is to be a decentralized cryptocurrency that is devoid of government control. And when there is no regulation or control on something, you should expect the stock to be volatile, because speculations is the biggest driver of Bitcoin's price. That's why Bitcoin can go down and come up and go down and come up. One way to build adoption of Bitcoin is by ensuring proper regulation, because when there's regulation, you remove the bad players. So I believe that with time, we are going to have more innovations in the Bitcoin ecosystem, like the Lightning Network, which makes transactions faster. And we are expecting that Bitcoin will continue to hit the adoption beyond just El Salvador and Central African Republic. We need countries that matter to actually adopt Bitcoin to ensure that we have proper circulation of the token. And also countries like Nigeria should definitely look for ways to adopt cryptocurrency and Bitcoin into our ecosystem to drive our economy.
The second panel session put the spotlight on the impact of Bitcoin adoption in Africa, as well as the future of innovation on the continent.
Sometimes when we approach innovations, including blockchain technology, we do so in a vacuum. And when we do that, we should change ourselves. But when we understand these things in a context, the big picture begins to get look real good. Talk about the digital economy. there has always been the idea of distrust. And for centuries, man has distrusted man. And the idea of bringing in intermediaries and middlemen or third parties have always been the only innovative way by which men can take care of the trust issue. Now, the blockchain has come to take care of that. And that's why we call it a trustless technology, because it does not require trust, human trust, to be able to carry out safe and secure transactions. All it needs is that technology, which we know today. There's a network, there's a protocol, there's a peer-to-peer network. You don't need a central body to make it happen.
When we look at the Nigerian, in different sectors in Nigeria, there are multiple ways that can be implemented, from land titles to birth certificates, college results. There are a lot of things that can be put on the blockchain, and that basically changes the way we interact with each other, because now I'll be able to trust whichever information I get on you. And that change unlocks a lot, especially in human capital. So I am happy to work with you because I trust the information I have. I'm happy to work with you because I don't need to depend on you. I believe that the technology is doing its job. So that's where blockchain, I see, would play a lot of roles, and they are currently already doing that.
For other Bitcoin lovers, the day goes beyond posting Happy Bitcoin Pizza Day, as they believe it's an opportunity to appreciate the disruptive power of cryptocurrencies and the role they continue to play in empowering individuals.
For like 4 years, Bitcoin was just dormant. Nobody was willing to accept Bitcoin. People actually went to financial, conferences. They were talking about Bitcoin. And after the event, just like this, they were offering them free Bitcoin. They didn't collect. They were like, never mind. But today, the fact is the case. In fact, no one is even willing to share, like here today, no one is sharing Bitcoin because it's very expensive. So this particular event that occurred years back has helped in asking that why. And more people are willing to learn more. That an investment of, or let me say a pizza or Bitcoin worth 5,000 naira many years ago is today worth over $270 million.
Every year it is increasing, right? More people are getting to know about this amazing technology and invention, because people tend to forget that Bitcoin is a technology, beyond being a currency, beyond being a store of value, right? So that is what we are doing. We want to talk about innovation. We want to talk about growth. We want to talk about adoption. We want to talk about financial inclusion. We want to talk about access to on open markets, right? How can people be able to access financial economy and prosperity with ease, and even at a fast rate and at a very cheap rate.
The historical significance of Bitcoin Pizza Day is evident in the use of Bitcoin to purchase real-world products. Unknown to Laszlo, it sets a precedent for future use cases of cryptocurrencies. And while many would assume that Laszlo made a foolish decision at the time, it is important to not just focus on the Bitcoin pizza price, but on the larger implications of how Bitcoin Pizza Day fits into different narratives of the growth of Bitcoin.